He said, that motherfucker cold.
Come on, tell me how you wanna play it. I want it all, I just gotta say it. I took my doubts and I left it for dead. My life is a dream and it's all in my head. Come on, I had to start from the top, I had to live from the end. I write it down and I get it. Little nigga, don't you forget it. I got a mystical pen.
As I said before, y'all might start seeing me more than you see your mama and your pops. Let's get into today's show, whatever y'all want to call it. Some people be like, babe, be quiet, my favorite show's on. Right, let's get into it. Today I want to talk about an episode of Black Mirror that I saw that really highlights infinite realities, revision, all of that. I forget exactly the name of the episode, but it's Black Mirror, Season 7, Episode 2. So if you haven't watched it or you don't plan on watching it, I'm probably going to spoil it. Actually, I am going to spoil it. But you can still watch it even knowing the spoiler, but it's still a good episode. So it starts off with this girl who works at, sorry to my British people, because I don't think all of Black Mirror is like based in the UK. But what was it called? They call them biscuits, but they're like cookies. She works at a biscuit company, but like she's the head designer, creator of these biscuits, and I forgot the exact name they called these biscuits, but it was actually fucking nuts now that I think about it. But anyways, she's working there, she's designing these biscuits, she's like head of it, like on top of her game. And then one day they have a biscuit tasting whatever. I don't know what to call it. I forget the word for it, but like they had people come in and test these biscuits, right? Like to see if they wanted to put them out for the general public. And specifically, this one girl that she knew in high school comes in. And like, when she comes in, everybody was like, the one dude said specifically when they tasted the cookies, he said, bro, these cookies are rank.
To sit with the flavor if you're not sure.
I'm sorry, but that's rank.
Okay.
And I had to put two and two together. To my British audience, I'm assuming rank means like garbage, like just straight trash, just some bullshit. But the girl she knew from high school, she goes, no, these are actually good. You got to give them a second try. They kind of grow on you. So everybody took a second one, grew on her. And now that I think about it, looking back on it, this was the girl who comes in for the biscuit tasting. This was her first instance of revising something.
Can I have another one? Yeah, of course. Take as many as you like. All right. Maybe it's just me that it definitely grows on you. Okay. But on the second one, it's like 10 times better. Honest. You should try.
Actually, now I've gotten used to it. It's not bad.
I like the saltiness. Okay, saltiness.
Really complements the chocolate, like the contrast.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Great.
I might have to go watch it again because low-key that episode is crazy. This was her first instance of revising something, right? So she sees, okay, the biscuit tasting is over. Shorty who's making the cookies or whatever, I think her name was Maria. Maria's the light-skinned girl, the friend from high school. She was this white girl. Maria sees the white girl in they called her milkmaids.
This one girl, Natalie Kane, when she heard about the Mr. Kendrick stuff, she was ruthless. She kept calling Verity milkmaid.
So Maria sees milkmaid in the bathroom. Sorry, y'all, I'm getting to the point, I promise. Maria sees milkmaid in the bathroom. They start going over how, like, you know, they haven't seen each other since high school, this, that, and the third, right? Maria goes home and she starts explaining to her boyfriend how, like, she hasn't seen this girl since high school. And, like, there was milkmaid talks about how there was a position opening at the job and that she was up for it. Like, she was going to apply for it. And Maria's like, nah, I don't think there's a position open at the job. Like, I would know about that. Like, I'm one of the important people here. I would know about a job opening. This is her second instance of revising something. She goes, and this is gonna spoil it early, but Milkmaid has this necklace. She has this necklace that is synced into a quantum computer where whenever she says something, she holds this necklace. And Maria doesn't notice it, but whenever she says something, she holds this necklace and it literally alters reality. She shifts to a timeline where whatever she said is now true.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna apply for the job.
Right, sorry, the job.
Yeah, the research assistant in R&D.
Don't think there is a job going right now.
Oh, it said on the website there was a vacancy.
I'd know. And I don't think there is a job going right now.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, I could have sworn.
True.
No.
This is like revising on the spot. And I always say, when I see things like this, I don't think you don't just come up with this shit. You don't just think of this and be like, that's cool. No, I'm telling you, these people writing these shows, they know something. But anyways, anytime she wants something to change, she holds her necklace, like, cause she has like one of those awkward shy girl personalities. At least that's what she comes off as. Has this awkward shy girl personality. So when she presses it, like when she starts fondling with her necklace, she says something and things change, right? So boom, she was like, oh, there's no job openings. Actually, there was one. Boom, so there's a job opening. So Maria goes home, tells her boyfriend, like, I don't remember there being a job opening, da-da-da-da. And he was like, and she goes, I don't even think she's the type to like be into food. When I was growing up, she was like a computer nerd. She was always into computers. Another hint that they was leaving in the episode. But anyways, so he's like, if anything, she might be overqualified. Sounds like you're, tweaking. That's pretty much what he says. Goes to work the next day. She gets in an argument. I'm gonna just highlight all the important points. She gets in an argument about what this specific restaurant was called. This also goes with like for y'all who like the butterfly effect. Is that the butterfly effect? No, the Mandela effect. The Mandela effect, yeah. For y'all who like the Mandela effect conspiracy theory, this kind of goes into that too. But Maria starts arguing with another coworker, talking about how the name of this specific chicken spot was Bernie's. Maria says it's Bernie's. The man says it's Barney's. So here goes Shorty in the back. I'm gonna tell y'all at the end why she's fucking with her. She want to change it, so she was like, no, I think it's always been Barney's. And Maria replies and goes, no, my boyfriend used to work there. He has a hat like that he wears every day, and I know it says Bernie's, not Barney's. So they was like, all right, let's look it up then. Looked it up. For sure, it was Barney's, not Bernie's. And she's like flabbergasted, like, what the fuck? Like, ain't no way.
South London.
Just sorry, I've got to say, I think it was Bernie's.
Barney's chicken.
Oh dear.
So anyways, and I missed a part. The reason she's at work with these people is she did get the job. She got the job. Maria was like, how the fuck did she get the job? Like, they said she was overqualified, if anything. That's what her boss told her, because she went and asked. She was like, he said she's overqualified, if anything. So that's how she got there working with them. So next scene, or next important scene, now she's having to share her cookie recipe with Milkmaid. She has to share it with her. So specifically, the head CEO is coming to see or coming to taste test these new cookies and see, like, do we want to put this out internationally, right? So there's a specific thing that she cannot put in the cookies because the CEO is Hindu. So she was like, okay, no pork, no something. Can't put pork in this recipe for biscuits. Now, don't ask me why they was putting pork. I think it's for the little marshmallow piece in the middle, like the gooey shit. Feel me? So there's a specific word that she wanted to use instead, like a specific type of plant-based ingredient that she could put instead of the pork. And she wrote it down for her. Like, she had Milkmaid write it down, and then she also sent it in an email. So the guy comes He enjoys the cookies, right? But the girl who actually makes the cookies, she's like, the head CEO had asked Maria, like, oh, what's in the cookies, da da da. She was like, it's a plant-based, it's somewhere with a C, like carrageen or something like that. She was like, it's plant-based. And the chef is like, she starts looking worried, like, hold the fuck up. That's not what I saw when I got the recipe. So she's looking worried. So Maria, the chef, and the boss of the actual building, they get together. He's like, what's wrong? And she goes, that wasn't plant-based, that was pork. And he goes, well, he's Hindu. Like, we just had him eat pork. That's crazy. Even though he was fucking with it. It's like, that's crazy. And Maria goes, why would you put pork? I said I can't remember the word with the C, but she said, I said to put that in there as plant-based. She's like, no, that's not what I saw. So Maria goes, it was milkmaid. Like, I know it was her. She changed it. Because her conspiracy theory at this point is like, she's going into the computers and fucking with shit. That's what she thinks. She thinks like in her free time, she's going into computers and fucking with this shit. Like, so they all get together and she's like, why would you put pork when I specifically said in the email, the plant-based ingredient? And she's like, I never saw that on the email. Like, you never put that on the email. And she's like, yes, I did. We can check the email. So they go check the email. The word that she originally put in there, the C word, it was gone. Cooked, like no longer existed.
Actually, do you know what? I can't remember if it's pork Mr. Ditter doesn't eat. Better to go totally plant-based. Carrageenan.
Worth once. Yeah, my waistline's still not forgiving me.
I used to be hooked on their steak bake. It was like heroin in pastry for me. But now...
Let's see that email.
So like now, Maria's losing her fucking mind. She's like, bro, am I tweaking? She reaches out to an old friend that knew her and Milkmaid. Reaches out to an old friend. It's like, oh, let's, I thought of you. Let's get together. Because she wants to talk about this. Like, bro, am I tweaking? A couple days later, that friend is dead. Herself, gone. So now she's really tweaking now. And throughout the episode, every day there was this girl who had almond milk and it would always end up missing. Always. Like somebody was drinking it and she was blaming it on everybody. She didn't know who did it. This particular point in the episode, Milkmaid walks in and was like, do you have a problem with me? Da da da. Like she's playing this like shy girl act, this shy, awkward girl act. That's what she's doing. And Maria ends up like apologizing for something that she did in the past when they were in high school. So then Milkmaid walks right up to Maria, opens the refrigerator, drinks Shorty's milk right in front of her, like stares her in her soul, drinks her milk, like, and then pours some of it on the ground, left it there, wiped her face, went and sat down. And prior to that, they were supposedly supposed to have a meeting at 8 a.m. And Maria knew nothing about it. She was like, I didn't get an email. So now that everybody was at this meeting at 8 a.m., but Maria wasn't, when the girl walks in and was like, oh, somebody drank my milk, Maria goes, it was Milkmaid. It was her. And she's like, no, everyone else was in the meeting and you weren't. Like, so Maria's like, not Maria, the boss goes, well, we have security cameras, we could check those. And he's like, Maria goes, how the fuck could I drink almond milk when I have a nut allergy, right? I could never drink almond milk. So they're like, we just checked the security cameras, right? So I didn't peep this at the time, but Shorty started fondling with that fucking necklace. They go check the security cameras, and it is a completely different event from what had actually happened. It showed her taking the milk from Milkmaid, knocking it back, throwing it on the ground, like whole 9 yards. It was obviously like AI, but at that point it was like, that's when the episode shifted for me. I didn't notice the necklace thing yet, but this is when Maria notices the necklace, because they go in the security room and they're like, she starts saying, there's no way that happened. I have a nut allergy. I've always had a serious nut allergy. And they start looking at her like, what is a nut allergy? Deadass, that is what it is. It's like, that doesn't exist. Like, you're telling us you have a nut allergy, like that's supposed to mean something. What the fuck is a nut allergy? And she like scoots them aside, gets on the computer, looks up nut allergy, does not exist. So now Maria's like, bro, what the fuck? How the fuck are you doing this? And she starts noticing that she's always playing with this necklace, right? So that's when she was like, it's the fucking necklace, da 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 da. She tries to go after her, ends up getting fired, right? So what she does, she goes outside, waits after work, wait till Milkmaid drives home. She drives home, follows Milkmaid. Milkmaid lives in this fat ass mansion, like crazy mansion. She breaks into her mansion. The first door she breaks into, it's like all these computers, like but anyways, she breaks in, and when she walks in the room, and this is when I started realizing this episode was about revision, infinite realities, being whoever you want to be. She walks into her room because she's looking for this necklace. She's like, I need to get this necklace because that's what's fucking me up. That's where her power is. Walks into the room. There's pictures of her being an astronaut, an Olympic athlete, a model on Vogue, all these, like, anything she wanted to be, she was that. Like, picture evidence of it. And to Maria, she's like, ain't no fucking way, because when we grew up and we was in high school, you was not on that. Like, you was not that type of person. Now, granted, even logically, people can change after high school, even during high school, especially if it's 10 years later. I'm definitely not the same person I was 10 years ago. Still got some similar traits, but like, not the same person I was 10 years ago. But it's fucking her up because, like, when did you have the time to be an astronaut, a model on Vogue, and an Olympic athlete? And it was like a bunch of other pictures. She finally finds the necklace, right? But then she hears Milkmaid finna get out the shower. Milkmaid comes out the shower and she presses the button, like thinking the button is gonna do something. Milkmaid realizes that she's in there because like somebody's fucking with her technology. She's like, come out from under the bed. She comes out from under the bed and explains to her everything. She was like, the reason I'm doing this to you and the reason your friend ended up, herself, was because y'all made up that rumor about me being Milkmaid, which the reason they called her Milkmaid in the show was because Maria made up this rumor that she gave a teacher a hand job, like gave her teacher a hand job. So like, she started calling her Milkmaid, and then everybody started calling her that. So like, fucked up her reputation and some more shit. Like, everything just cooked. Y'all can imagine that. So she was like, that's the reason I'm doing this. Like, that's why I invented this software, da 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 da. And Maria thinks because she has the necklace, like, oh, she's cooked. She's like, oh no, you can keep that necklace. I got plenty more over here.
You don't fucking get this back.
I mean, it really is just a remote. I've got loads of them.
I'm good. Like, I'm not stupid enough to just hold all this power in one fucking necklace. Do you think I'm crazy? But the reason she was making her and Nicole, which was her other friend that Maria texted, she was doing that because the way she felt at that time was lonely and like she was crazy because everyone was putting these false accusations against her. No one would believe anything she said. So that's how she made them, feel to the point where, they wanted to delete themselves. Feel me? So Maria's like, nah, I ain't taking this. Swings on her. Get the boom, 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 boom. They get the wrestling and shit. And then finally, Milkmaid gets the necklace back. She presses the button. But she also tells her, this only works for me. So she basically tells her, this only works for me. Like, it won't work for you. That's why when she pressed the button under the bed, it didn't do shit. So she goes, oh, the police are here, the armed police, da-da-da-da, and they're arresting you now. They show up instantly. And it also kind of shows you how, the whole manifestation is instant. There's infinite realities, da-da-da-da. And she was also showing her, before I get to the final part, she was showing her how she could change literally anything. She was like, I could change the color of the shirt you wore today. I could change the fact that, like, I could say you've always spoken Chinese. I could say that we're having this argument at the office. Now, granted, our reality is slightly different than what they're showing, but it's a visual of revision, like how it works. You change something and so a lot of times it can be instant, but it's not as dramatic as it was shown in the show. But yeah, she was showing her, like, I could change literally anything. Like, and my whole time, I'm not gonna lie, I'm sitting here thinking, why didn't you change the fact that they called you milkmaid and you got bullied? Like, I don't know. That, me personally, that might have been the first thing I revised. But yeah. But anyways, the police show up, and Maria fucked around, took the police gun and shot her in the head. Like, she's like, I ain't doing this shit no more. So they get in a little shootout. They get in the shootout. Shorty still got the thing in her hand after she got her head blown off. So, like, Maria grabs it while it's still in her hand, and she was like, this only works for me now, this only works for me now. And then she starts using the power. But when you watch the episode, you're going to see how often they put things in your face. It's just like, if you don't know, then you're just like, oh, that was a cool episode, cool concept. No, Nick, not just a cool concept. This is, you can do this. It won't look as dramatic as the show. You know, it's entertainment. They want to entertain you and show you things. Like, go watch it. That's all I'm going to say. Go watch it. Hopefully I can put the clips in here. If I didn't, I'm so sorry, but this was an 18-minute yap sesh. As far as me actually talking, it might end up being like 20 or so minutes, but y'all say y'all like the longer videos. So yeah, anyways, babes. Ka-chow!